Fed up of floor robes, driven to distraction and drowning with doom boxes? Tired of living in chaos? Welcome to Decluttering Untangled, how to declutter when you're overwhelmed, ADHD or autistic. I'm going to help you uncover the secrets to decluttering, no matter what hurdles you face. You'll discover how to declutter, de-stress and transform your world. I'm Heather Tingle, reformed hoarder, neurodivergent declutter queen, and your guide through the maze of mess. Let's get untangled. Hello, Untanglers, and welcome to another episode of Decluttering Untangled with me, your host, Heather Tingle. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about cleaning products, and that's because over the past couple of weeks, I've noticed with a few clients that we tend to do a lot more talking about and have a lot more items of cleaning products than we actually spend cleaning. We seem to be really good about collecting products and then doing absolutely nothing with them. So I would really like to talk to you about what is probably under your sink right now, as generally that's where we keep them. And I want to do a bit of a deep dive into cleaning products and how we can declutter them, how we can organise them, and why we tend to collect them. So I think first of all, it's important to know, why do we have so many cleaning products? Because let's face it, we're trying to sort our life out, right? So we're trying to sort our house out and we think if we have all the cleaning products, it's going to solve all those problems. So the idea of having a clean and tidy space is really exciting. We see a product that promises to make cleaning easier, quicker and more fun, and it's pretty or it's a bargain. And then we grab it and then take it home and then we forget about it until later. Or we use it, we don't like it, or we don't understand it. So for me, the big one I decluttered when I sorted out my cleaning products was oven cleaner. So I'd get really excited about doing it, thinking, oh yeah, I want to have a gleaming, beautiful oven like other people have. And I've seen everyone's seen the TikToks and the reels, haven't we, of cleaning dirty ovens and how sparkling it is and all that stuff. And I know it needs doing, because I only realised in my 30s that a self-cleaning oven isn't actually self-cleaning at all. I mean, I think that's terrible. I mean, it's so annoying that you've still got to do stuff to it. I mean, I think that's false advertising. There we go. But then you get home with the stuff and then the excitement's worn off. It's a big job, so we need time to do it. Time we very rarely actually have in real life. And if you're anything like me as well, and I'm going to be really vulnerable when I say this, you get a bit scared about using such harsh chemicals. Like, what if it goes wrong and I poison myself, or my oven is contaminated with chemicals for weeks on end? I mean, to be fair, that probably wouldn't be a problem for me given how much takeaway I live on. But it is a big worry about the strength of the chemicals and, will I need special gloves? I'm going to burn my skin. What happens if it all goes wrong? What happens if I try and clean the glass and the glass breaks, or I can't put the oven back together again? So many things. So it just stays under the cupboard sink for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then months and months and months. And then ideally, if you can, pay someone to do it instead of you. But you end up just carrying on with a dirty oven, don't you? I'm really hoping that is not just me, by the way. So the other thing is analysis paralysis. So especially if you are autistic ADHD, there are so many types of the same product. So do I need all these different things? Do I need an all-purpose cleaner, an anti-bac spray, a degreaser? And what happens if I pick the wrong one? So I'm just going to get all of them, cover all bases, and it'll all be fine. But then you've got so many of them, you then get paralysis when you get home, not knowing which one to use, or it becomes a more difficult job because you've got to use this spray for that thing and that spray for that thing. And you just think, oh, for God's sake, it's ridiculous. So you put it off and you don't do it. Then you've got the executive dysfunction issues and like aspirational cleaning. You know, the Mrs. Hinch, how viral did that woman go for cleaning a house? I mean, we all like looking at someone cleaning. I like the before and after transformations. I'm not going to lie. I think it's great when you see like the dirty cleaning stuff coming out of a dirty carpet, like the water changing colour. Like that, I think that's fun. But do I actually want to do that to my own house? I physically, I'm not able to. I've got POTS. I've got issues with my back. Like that isn't doable, but I still like watching stuff on TV. But I think it's really important to know that watching stuff on TV doesn't automatically mean that you're actually going to do it yourself, does it? So we buy things though, hoping they're going to make us a cleaner person. They're going to get a fancy mop and magic erasers and 10 different sponges and all the Mrs. Hinch binky stuff. We're going to get all that stuff, but it doesn't actually make us do it. We might get really excited about using it for like the first time, and then after that, it's back to it's just a sponge, isn't it? Like we're not going to use it more. It's still the same thing that all the others are. And the other thing is our sensitivity to smells or textures and chemicals. So some products are just too strong for us, too artificial smelling, that some give me headache, or they might leave behind a sticky residue. We might buy something, hate it, and then never use it again. But then we feel really guilty about wasting the money for it, and also stuck about how to let it go, because we can't just chuck it away because that's wasteful and we want the best home for it. Okay, so that's one of the issues. Well, there's some of the issues as to why we get stuck with all this stuff. So, okay, I'm going to tell you how to declutter it. Now, this is a very simplistic thing because, these podcasts are in like 10 minutes. I could go into a lot more detail than I do with my clients. We analyze it a lot more and go into a lot more depth with it because it is important to get right. We also look at different cleaning styles and whether you pinball, whether you want to do by room, whether you want to do by task. There's all different things to think about. But generally, get everything together. So not just under the sink, check your bathroom, your garage, your cupboards, your car. Cleaning supplies end up absolutely flipping everywhere. So get them all together so you know what you've got, and you're probably like, oh my word, I've got a lot of this. Then you need to categorize. So group similar things together. So do you have 5 nearly empty antibac sprays? How many bottles of bleach have you got? How many black bags have you got? What's under that sink? Get them together into types of categories and see how many you've actually got. What is also really, really useful is to, when you've whittled it down, I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but hello, ADHD brain. One of the things you can do is get a Sharpie marker and put a line when you're a third of the way to the bottom of your cleaner that you use a lot, and buy or replace me now, so that you aren't going to run out. Because one of the things that we do panic about is running out of items that we really do use quite a lot of, and that can really help with that. So then I want you to make decisions based on real self, not fantasy self. So which do you actually use? So one of the quickest ways to do this is being logical rather than emotional and looking at the expiry on it. So cleaning products do expire. So have a look at when was it opened? Has it gone a bit gunky? Has it gone a bit funky? Does it smell a bit off? Do you pick up the bottle and is it all sticky and grim and actually you're never going to touch that bottle ever again? Then let it go. Does it actually work for you? So if you hate the smell of it or the texture of it, or you're scared to use it, you're never going to use it. So let it go. Is it redundant? So have you got 50 items of the same thing? Pick the best one. So for example, I've got, 3 different degreasers. Pick one. I honestly think the products you need, generally speaking, are a degreaser, like Fairy Liquid or Dawn if you're in the US for washing dishes. But it can be used to degrease most things. You don't have to use it only for the thing that you're meant to use it for. Not for degrease anyway. Other things are something with bleaching, for example, or a limescale remover. You do have to only use it for the thing it's used for, because otherwise you can ruin surfaces and things like that. But some things can be used for lots of different things. So, for example, I have used antibac spray as a dusting spray, because all it does is it wets it and it cleans it. That's pretty much what you need. So it can be used for so many things. So I think you need a degreaser, you need a bleach. I think every home should have a bleach, even if you don't use it very much. A dust spray, an antibac spray, antibacterial spray, something to clean your surfaces, especially in the kitchen. I think it's really important. Something like white vinegar for windows and bicarb of soda, which those two together can be used for so many things as quite a cheap and eco-friendly solution to cleaning. You can also use white vinegar in your laundry as well to get rid of smells and use it instead of a fabric conditioner. So that can work really well. It's really, those two are really all round good products. And then you've got like your more niche stuff. And I'm going to be quite light on these because only you know what kind of niche stuff you've got. So niche products like a leather cleaner or a jewelry cleaner. And I bet you've all got a Brasso in your cupboard that's probably as old as you, haven't you? And those kind of things that don't go out of date that, you use forever. And there might be something for like wooden flooring as well. And that's pretty much a capsule kit because so many products are roughly the same thing with just different branding. Also, it really does go without saying to never, ever mix your products together and decant them for safety reasons. You've got to keep them in original bottles. So you think, right, okay, I've thinned it down. What on earth now do I do with it? Because this is always a sticking point for clients is I want to let them go. I don't want them to go to waste. So some food banks and charities will accept unopened cleaning products. Definitely near me, food banks definitely will. If it's opened, try using a zero waste app like Olio to give things away or post as a bundle on your local Facebook group. There's also likely to be a zero waste group near you too. So try and get them in there. But in all honesty, if that feels too hard, then you do get a head that says it's okay to let it go, throw it away. And the main thing is you learn from that experience. So you don't make that mistake again and you don't make more things into landfill later. Just let this one go and use it as a learning experience. And then finding a home for what is left and putting them where they should be. So store things where you use them. So for example, keep the bathroom cleaner in the bathroom. Now, normally this goes against everything I say. So normally I like to keep things together in one place, but this is the one instance where having them in the place you use them is far better for you. And yes, that does mean that you can double up on some cleaning products. So for example, I do have a bleach, which I don't use a lot of, but I do love the smell of. I do have one in the bathroom and one in the kitchen, and that is totally okay too. I would love you to limit the number of items per category. So, for example, one general all-purpose spray is usually enough, and then containerize them wherever you can. So instead of having lots of individual bottles strewn about, have them in containers. So I had one which was car stuff, I had one which was cleaning stuff, one which is laundry stuff, and that worked really, really well for me. It can be a really good idea to have them in a caddy if you want, so that you can move them around your home when you're cleaning, and that does all keep them together as well in the same place. Okay, so I hope that's helped you work out how to declutter that category a little bit easier. Hopefully it's made you feel a little less alone, and it's made it a bit easier for you to give it a go. Now, please do let me know how you get on. I do love getting your emails. Oh, and while I remember, you might have noticed a new thing in the show notes, and this is where you can buy me a coffee. I do hasten to add, it will not be a coffee because I really don't like coffee, but I have got a tea addiction. So you'll be virtually buying me a cup of tea. So if you can afford it, and if you found these podcasts useful and you'd like to say a little thanks, there is a link in the show notes now where you can do that. Anyway, until next time, be kind to yourself, remember you are not alone, and keep untangling. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of Decluttering Untangled. If you found anything that I've said today helpful, please do me a favour, hit that subscribe button or leave me a review. It's like receiving a virtual high five that keeps me going and lets me know that I'm helping real people out there and I'm making a difference. Please remember, you're not alone in this. I'm building a community of fellow untanglers over on Facebook. Just visit the show notes for the link to my free decluttering community. So until next time, remember, you're not alone, you're not lazy, you can untangle your life.